Well, say hello to this beautiful Fender Jazz bass that I'm going to be setting up today and doing some new strings. Really beautiful instrument. Aside from being extremely dirty, you know, the bass, the action on this bass, I'm going to try and give you a shot of the string height here. I mean, it is ridiculous. So we're going to fix that. The pickup height also needs some adjusting. You'll notice it's missing a volume knob here, but the controls all work. I plugged this in and ran it, and everything. Doesn't seem to be any electrical problems, so I shouldn't have to deal with that. But we'll do some adjusting to the truss rod here, and clean up the fretboard and get the spooge off of the guitar. And he's going to get it back and probably not recognize this thing. And one thing I love about this bass is that it has the badass bass saddles on it, and those are really awesome, really durable, and make intonating the instrument really easy. Machine heads are all original. The bass is entirely original at this point. I don't know the exact year of purchase or when this thing was manufactured, but it is a USA-made Fender Jazz bass. And time to pull some 4-year-old strings off it. You can see the spooge on the strings right here, these black spots, and I mean, there's just guck all over this. It's remarkable. And I played it at a jam session the other night, and it felt like I was wrestling with a roll of barbed wire and a sumo wrestler. So hopefully when he gets this thing back, it'll play nicely. Stay tuned. Alright, so something I noticed about this instrument. Every one of these machine heads is very loose, and so I'm imagining that this thing probably did not stay in tune very well. The handles all flop around. You can see it wiggling, and there are some adjustments I can make to tighten this stuff up and keep things a little tighter for him. We have these beautiful screws on the back here that we can cinch up and tighten things up a little bit so it will hold tune a little better. Probably way better than it did. And there's your serial number with the Z for United States of America. Made in the USA. Very cool. So I just wanted to provide you with a little closer look at how much crud is on this bass. It's just dirty. So when we come back, you'll see this thing a little shinier, a little prettier, and in a little better shape. This wood on this neck is super dry. It's a rosewood, single plank rosewood fretboard, sorry, not neck, and a solid maple neck on this thing. So very nice instrument. The truss rod works wonderfully, so we'll be able to adjust this down and get the action just set up just perfectly. The frets are a little worn. I don't think we're going to need to do any leveling or anything like that. You can see the spooge on the neck and the beautiful piece of rosewood it is with the beautiful grain. It's becoming very hard to find anymore. We're going to polish that up, clean all the gunk off of there, and put some wonderful oil on there so that that wood is preserved, and give it some nice smooth action. So we've cleaned it up a little bit, got all the guck off of it, and got a nice coat of oil on this, and it is literally soaking up this oil that I've used on this neck very rapidly. So I don't think this neck has probably ever been oiled, maybe once in its life, but it was so dry. It's just tragic to let the wood dry out that much. but you can see that the grain in it is really starting to come to life, and it's getting that beautiful rosewood color back in it. So we'll proceed here. As soon as I get this neck all oiled up and it's taken all the oil it can take, I am going to throw a set of strings on here, check the action, make sure the radius is correct with the fretboard and the saddle down here. So hang in there. So I'm throwing a set of Super Bass 45 to 105 nickel plated steel, fairly inexpensive bass strings. Sound as good or better than very expensive Roto Sounds or other brands that are exorbitantly expensive. Great bass strings. I have them on my bass in my studio, and they work wonderfully, and they hold tune really well too, and they don't stretch a tremendous amount, which I really love these guys. So great strings. We'll get them thrown on here. Try and fast forward through this section. There you go. It's all done. Okay, so I have set the neck relief to be appropriate for the neck, and what we really want on the string height here at the 12th fret, with nothing being, no notes being fretted, we really want no more than 2 to 2.5 millimeters here at the 12th fret. And we have nearly 4 millimeters of height here at the 12th fret. So as it is, I need to take the action down here at the saddle. So I'll be making some adjustments to here, and hopefully I can get those down far enough and keep the radius, the neck radius matched up to get the action down. I can certainly lower it. I'm not expecting to put a shim in this neck, but we'll see how far I can get away with lowering these saddles right here. And the way we do that is with an Allen key, and I'm hoping on this American-made Tele, or I'm sorry, Jazz Bass, I have a proper Allen wrench that will fit this, and let's see if I'm lucky. Too big? No, too small. Alright, this is the, is it a 1/16? That would make sense. Ah. Well, here she is after, I don't know, a couple hours of doing setup work. Sounds great. Beautiful pickups. I think there's an issue with this this rear pickup. It's just not quite. This is a volume control for it, and it pops. But this one is so much louder. You can hear that rumble when I hit that pickup, whereas this one is kind of soft. So I'm not sure if there's a problem with this pickup. I'm not going to address that right now. But intonation is perfect. The strings are brand new, and it sounds wonderful. And I've oiled the neck, so it's got that beautiful rosewood grain showing, and tightened up the machine heads, checked the intonation. Beautiful Fender Jazz Bass. And this kind of setup work we do over here at the old homestead. I sometimes take my work home with me. This work was done for a friend, and I played this bass a few weeks ago, and it was just awful. So now it sounds wonderful, and hopefully he'll be real happy with it when he gets it back. I hope I don't have the action too low for him, but I'm going to give you another side shot of the action on this bass. And now you can see that, you know, the appropriate 2mm or so relief is available here at the 12th fret, whereas before it was literally 4mm. Now I'm going with metric measurements. They're easier to see on my rule, and they are within thousandths upon thousandths of an inch. So I find that to be an appropriate measurement to go with. Probably gonna end up having to use a shim eventually if this neck does any more movement, because these saddles are completely bottomed out. This low E string is literally, there's nowhere else for it to go. It's sitting right on top of the badass bass saddle. So as you can see, I have a little bit of a distance on the A string. It's come up. It's going with the radius of the neck, so the strings are fitting with the radius of the neck as it curves top to bottom. So there it is. Have a good day.